Hi there, this is Yvonne Chaka Chaka, and this is Zimlink. Stay tuned.
We've just finished a conference at the House of Lords for the African women in diaspora. It's been a fantastic moment, and I'm here with the main organizer, who is a community ambassador, social entrepreneur, making a difference. She's also a peace ambassador, so it's a pleasure. I'm supposed to meet for the very first time in person. Justina Mutale, welcome to Africa for You in conjunction with Zimlink. How are you today?
Thank you very much, Tony. Thank you, Zach. I'm very well, thank you. A bit exhausted, but I'm fine. And I'm very happy to see that you guys did turn up to come and support us.
That's fantastic. And before we go into the meat of the discussion today, I must say your outfit looks very, very colorful and I presume symbolic also.
It is symbolic. This is actually the Zambian flag. These are all the colors of the Zambian flag, and I'm very proud to be Zambian. I was honored as African Woman of the Year in 2012, and whenever I have to speak at such symbolic occasions, I always try to wear the Zambian flag, to fly the Zambian flag. I wore this last year when I spoke at the U.S. National Congress of Black Women in the USA, and I've also worn it when I've spoken at some other important occasions. It's just to show I'm a proud Zambian festival and then proud African.
And you're a very, very proud icon, doing us very, very proud in different parts of the world. But for the benefit for all our listeners in different circles around the world who have not heard much about you, can you tell us a bit about yourself, your background, but most importantly, what you're most passionate about in life?
Okay, I am Justina Mutale. I was honored, as I said before, as African Woman of the Year 2012. I have been honored several times for different reasons. Most recently, I was honored at the United Nations as a Global Official of Dignity, and I am the UK Humanitarian Ambassador. I'm also in the 100... Black Plus 100, which is an exhibition and legacy of the top 100 Black achievers in modern Britain. I'm on the list of the European Black Women Power List. I'm on so many lists, I can't even say all of them, and I'd really rather somebody mention them out for me, because I was brought up to be very modest in talking about my own stuff. So sometimes I like that somebody else introduces me in all of these things.
Now, we've just come out from the House of Lords. You've just organized a fantastic conference for African women, African diaspora women around the world. How important are the concerns and the objectives of African women around the diaspora around the world, number one? Number two, what do you think about this morning's conference?
Okay, first of all, it is very important, especially to me. It goes right to my heart. Even before I was nominated as honored as African Woman of the Year, I've always grown up to embrace everybody. You know, in Africa, we grow up with extended families, and I've had to bring up a lot of people, young people that came after me, including my own young brothers and sisters. And then also, when I came here, other Zambians that were coming later on. And also I remember one day finding a Nigerian girl on the street. She didn't know where to go, and I took her in and she came and lived with me until she sorted herself out. So my heart has always been to helping Africa. So this comes directly from my heart in doing all of this. And I think it is important that Africans living in the diaspora can take back what they have learned out here to take back to Africa. Because sometimes, even if our people are so very educated in our own home universities, but as they say, travel is like a book. If you haven't gone anywhere, you've only seen the first page. But to read the whole book, you have to go around the world. So if we can know how other people do things and bring that back home, then it can help us to develop. And if you go back to think about our founding fathers of Africa, people like Kwame Nkrumah, they had to come from the diaspora in order to come and give us the independence that we are enjoying now. So it is very important. I'm sorry that I'm sweating so much.
That's okay. It's been a very, very, very busy morning for you.
Yeah.
Now, we've had a fantastic morning. We have the Princess of Africa, Queen Yvonne Chaka Chaka, traveled all the way from South Africa. We've had some fantastic African women today, social entrepreneurs, humanitarians, founders of organizations, talk about great causes. My big question is, where do we go next? What happens after today?
I think what happens after today is that we still have to, the dialogue continues, and I think we have to dialogue here between ourselves and also some other concerned parties in the UK that can help us accelerate this further. I am part of the, oh God, I'm sweating so much. I'm part of the Diaspora Changemakers program, which was put together by the Royal Society of Arts and Comic Relief and Unbound Philanthropy. It's a project where they try to identify people of African origin who have leadership potential, who want to make a difference in the African communities in the UK and also in Africa. But also we need to work with our African government and also NGOs on the ground in Africa in order for what we are doing to be effective, in order to touch the minds and hearts and lives of the people that we are trying to help.
On a very final note, madam, what message do you have for Africans and Caribbeans around the world today?
Okay, I'd love to say to all Africans and Caribbeans around the world that first and foremost is never to forget where you come from. Home is where your heart is. It doesn't mean it's where your heart is pumping, but your heart actually is in Africa. If you're not supporting Africa, you're not supporting your heart. So you have to remember where you come from, and also you have to build where you come from. I work a lot in the US, and I can see how lost the African Americans still are. Even after 400 years, they still want to go back home. So it doesn't mean that because we live in the diaspora, one day we will not want to go back home. Our children might want to go back home, just like the African Americans after 400 years are still yearning to go back home. And if we want to go back home, we want to go back home to a good place, and we have to make that place good ourselves. We have to work hard to develop Africa into the place that we want to go back to, or we want our children, our children's children to go back to eventually.
Keep me posted of all the great work you're doing in the community. Look forward to seeing you at the end of this month, and well done with all the great work. Proud of you.
Thank you very much, Tony. Thank you, Zach.
So catch us same time next week, or rather catch us at the end of the month here at the House of Parliament, where I'll be hosting a Black History Month celebration in conjunction with MP Alok Sharma and event coordinator, one and only, Zimlink. You can't beat them. Take care and God bless. Bye-bye.